Welcome to 4.4 histograms. And before you worry about what a histogram is, don't worry. You know what they are. You've just never heard them called this before. Our target for today is I can make, read, and interpret histograms. And here we get to ask, what's a histogram? A histogram is a bar graph in which data values are organized into equal intervals. Histograms display data in the form of numbers, whereas bar graphs display data in categories. So a histogram is basically a bar graph, but instead of having categories at the bottom, you've got numbers at the bottom. We are also going to deal with frequency tables, which is a table that shows a tally of how many times a value occurred in each interval. So important things today, histograms and frequency tables. A frequency table is, well, basically a survey table. We'll get into that in a bit. Each interval on a histogram includes the number on the left-hand side of an interval up to the number on the right side. So if you look down here, you see intervals. An interval is just a gap. So this is from 0 to 2. This will be 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. And the number of students on the left is fine. And I had some people saying that it's not okay to go up by twos on graphs. It's totally okay to go up by twos. As long as what you're going up by on the left makes sense and is even all the way, it's fine. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 if you really wanted. As long as it's even and it makes sense for the graph, it's okay to have whatever number going up you want. Let's talk histograms. Use the histogram to answer each question. How many students had 2 or 3 pets? All right. Look at the height, the number of students of the bar that is between 2 and 4. It's this one right here. 10 students have 2 or 3 pets. So each bar is the number to the left. Move my mouse so you can actually see here. Thank you. The number to the left and 1 plus it. So the bar that it's being pointed at with the green arrow is 2 and 3. So the number to the left is what starts. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this well. It's not easy. So the first bar on the graph is 0 and 1. The second is 2 and 3, then 4 and 5. There's a gap for 6 and 7, then 8 and 9, and then 10 and 11. How many students had at least 8 pets? So if we look over here at where it says, right below here, I put my mouse down there and I get that thing. How many students had at least 8 pets? If we look at this column here, we have the 8 and 9 column and the 10 and 11 column. And it looks like there's 1 in the 8 and 9 column and 2 in the 10 and 11 column. So we have 1 and 2, and that equals 3. There are at least 3 students. There are 3 students who have at least 8 pets. Let's keep going. The interval between 6 and 8 is empty. What does that mean? That's this one right here. Remember that the gap between here and here is an interval. This is an interval, this is an interval, this is an interval. This interval here, 6 to 8, is empty. What does that mean? This means that there are 0 people who had exactly 6 or 7 pets. No pets. How many students are in Mrs. Sanchez's class? To do this one, it's very similar to how we did it on dot plots. We're going to add the heights of all the bars together. This sum represents the number of students in the class. So there's 13 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0, if you want to add that in. And that equals 31 students. I'm glad I'm not teaching Mrs. Sanchez's class.